Hello, bounty hunters, and welcome back to another episode of Notorious, the solo RPG bounty hunting game. We are continuing the exploits of Draven Stormstrike as he hunts down Zyra Exoskeen on the planet Xylon. Let us continue where we left off with encounter number 4 and seeing what may happen. As a reminder, we have 5 favor, 4 notoriety, and 3 motivation. So going into this new exploration may result in our first lead faster than usual. So let's see what we get. Sadly, we do not get a lead since our notoriety is 4, and we then otherwise roll on the exploration events table. So let's see what table we end up getting. With table number 5, let's see what we end up with. Okay. While exploring a ruined city, you stumble upon an ancient library filled with dusty tomes and scrolls. Choose one. Spend time studying the ancient text to gain 1 motivation, or salvage valuable artifacts from the library to gain 1 favor. Well, you know what? We really need the motivation. And considering we were at 5 of 6 favor and we could just end up getting our maxed out favor for capturing Zyra Exoskeen, we're definitely going to pick time studying the ancient text to gain 1 motivation. So, let's see what happens. As Draven delves into the ancient library's dusty tomes and scrolls, he uncovers forbidden knowledge about a powerful artifact known as the Eclipse Stone. Legend has it that the stone possesses the ability to harness the raw energy of Xylon's bioluminescence, granting its wielders immense power over light and darkness. The forgotten history reveals that the Eclipse Stone was once revered by a now extinct civilization on Xylon, who used its power to maintain harmony and protect the planet. However, greed and misuse of its abilities led to their downfall, and the artifact was hidden away to prevent further chaos. Intrigued by the potential significance of the Eclipse Stone, Draven realizes that its existence might hold a pivotal role in the ongoing conflict between the factions and could become a decisive element in his mission. Having read everything that Draven can about the Eclipse Stone, he decides to head back to civilization here on Xylon and goes to his 5th destination. Let's see where he ends up. You arrive at a bustling market or traveling scrap crawler run by locals. Choose one. Roll once on the destination events table, or speak with a local, rest and barter for supplies to gain 1 motivation. Well, we need to find either a bustling market, which sadly we already used the Twilight Market, or we can go with a traveling scrap crawler of sorts. And I think the best one here is going to be the Ruins of Eldorath for our traveling scrap crawler. Now, I do like the idea of rolling on the destinations events table, but having more motivation is key for this game. This is what will give us a better score at the end. So let's go ahead and speak with a local and then see what happens. Speaking of, first of all, let's find out what kind of species our local is. Okay, now for our species of local. Well, we have another Talok. Let's go ahead and see if we can speak with the Talok. Considering our favor is at 5 of 6 right now, that means with rounding up due to the rules, we have +3 on the roll, and they have nothing for advantages or whatnot. So left is me, right is them, and with equal rolls, we take the win here. With a total of 6 versus 3, we end up speaking with the Talok. So let's go ahead and roll for the speak. All right, let's see what our Talok has to say. They once fought in the ongoing intergalactic war. Which side did they fight for, and why do they regret taking part? I gave up everything for the new uprising, and look where it got me, the Talok local began with a heavy sigh. As Draven listened, the Talok revealed that they had once been a devoted soldier, fiercely loyal to the new uprising cause. They fought in battles, believing that their efforts would bring them a better galaxy. However, as time went on, they witnessed the true cost of war, the devastation it brought to countless lives, the shattered families, and the loss of innocence. The Talok local spoke of the moral conflict that ate away at them, realizing that the new uprising's methods were not as noble as they had once been led to believe. They deeply regretted being a part of a war machine driven by power and greed, and it left them disillusioned and searching for a way to find redemption and peace amidst the chaos. Draven empathized with the Talok's tale, understanding the burden of past choices and the desire to change one's path. After Draven spoke with the Talok local and then bartered for supplies and got some rest, being motivated, we are now at 5 of 6 favor, 4 of 6 notoriety, and 5 of 6 motivation. Well, let's see where exploring the wilds of Xylon brings us to next. Sadly, we do not have a notoriety of 5, so we once again roll on the exploration events table. So, let's see which table we are rolling on. Table number 6. During a journey across a vast desert, you encounter a wandering hermit. Choose one. Engage in a deep philosophical discussion with the hermit to gain 1 motivation, or assist the hermit in a challenging task or quest to gain 1 favor. We don't really need the favor. It's kind of a moot point at this position. Let's go ahead and gain that motivation. The hermit looks into Draven's eyes and says, "In the vastness of the universe, we are but fleeting sparks of life. Embrace the impermanence of existence, for it is in the acceptance of change that we find our true strength. The sands of time may obscure our path, but within lies the essence of self-discovery. Seek not to conquer the galaxies, but to conquer the depths of your own soul. Only then shall you find the wisdom to navigate the stars and the purpose to wield your power for the greater good." As the hermit's words resonate in the air, Draven finds himself drawn to the profound simplicity. He contemplates the fleeting nature of life and the vastness of the cosmos, realizing that even in the midst of chaos, there is a serene beauty to be found. The wisdom of the hermit reminds him of his own journey and the path he has chosen as a nomad. It reinforces the guild's codes he follows diligently, emphasizing the importance of balance, purpose, and self-discovery. Leaving the hermit with a nod of gratitude, Draven carries the weight of the shared wisdom on his shoulders, knowing that it will shape his future encounters and decisions. He steps back into the desert, emboldened by the realization that the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe may lie within himself. Each step he takes, Draven embraces the ever-changing sands of time, preparing to face whatever the cosmos may throw at him with a newfound resilience and understandings. And now, with our motivation completely maxed out at 6 of 6, we move on to destination number 5. You arrive at a fortified base or palace run by the controlling faction, so it looks like we are back to the Radiant Citadel. Resolve both. Gain 1 notoriety. If it's 4 or higher, a hostile guard approaches with 2 stars, so here we can, try our luck at talking. And then 2, roll twice on the destination's events table. Okay, well, first of all, we need to go ahead and find out what's going on with our hostile here, and gain 1 notoriety, so that will bump us to 5 of 6, and yeah, deal with the guard. Okay, so since we're going to try and talk to the hostile first, this is going to be a case of threatening them. In this case, we're going to threaten a hostile, and in order to do that, we have to go ahead and try and warn them off without resorting to violence or causing a scene. And being a wraith, maybe that's the better option here. So the only modifiers we have to deal with are adding half of our notoriety rounded up. Since we have 5 of 6, that will give us a +3. Now in a success, the hostile backs down, no longer an immediate threat, and we can roll in the threat neutralize table, which we have an expanded version here, or if we fail, the threat doesn't see us as scary, and then they get a +1 to the challenge die on their first roll. So similar to us. And let's go ahead and see what we get. Alright, so we will be adding +3 to this for threatening them, and they get no bonuses. So we have a 5 and a 3. So regardless, this is going to be a win for me. With an 8 and 3, I threaten the hostile who approaches me, and he backs down. So let's see what we get for the threat neutralized table. Okay, rolling 2d6 to see what we get for our threat neutralized. They attempt to strike a deal to join forces with you against a common enemy. Who is this common enemy, and what motivates their sudden collaboration? We may not see eye to eye, but we have a mutual enemy. So let's go ahead and see what this hostile guard has to say now that we've neutralized them. After being neutralized, the guard goes on to say, "We may not see eye to eye, but we have a mutual enemy," the hostile guard says, a hint of begrudging respect in their voice. They explain that a formidable mercenary group known as the Crimson Vipers has infiltrated the Radiant Citadel. Led by a charismatic and ruthless leader, the Crimson Vipers seek to seize control of the spaceport and establish their dominance over Xylon's resources. Their growing influence poses a significant threat not only to the trade alliance, but to anyone who stands in their way. Draven considers the proposition carefully, aware that the enemy of his enemy could be a valuable asset in his quest to apprehend Zyra Exoscheme. The hostile guard, once fiercely loyal to the new uprising, now sees the danger the Crimson Vipers pose to the stability of Xylon and its inhabitants. They are driven by a desire to protect their home planet from falling into the hands of a violent and oppressive force. Reluctantly, Draven decides to form a temporary alliance with the hostile guard, understanding that their combined strength could be instrumental in confronting the Crimson Vipers and limiting Zyra's potential allies. As they prepare to face the common enemy together, both Draven and the hostile guard know that their newfound partnership will be based on uneasy trust and the shared goal of preserving Xylon's freedom from the clutches of tyranny. Their cooperation in the face of this formidable adversary marks an unlikely turning point in Draven's journey, as he realizes that sometimes even the most unlikely alliances can serve a higher purpose. Now, since this battle with the hostile guard is basically out of the scope of this game, that will be kind of a fade to black moment, and we will move on to the 2 destination events on the table here, now that we've helped the guard with whatever problems they were dealing with. And we will be rolling on tables number 6 and then table number 3. For our first table here for the destination events, we'll be reading from table number 6, and with that we got number 6 as well. A secret resistance movement against the challenging faction operates covertly in this area. Choose one. Join forces with the resistance, or uncover the resistance activities and report them to the controlling faction to gain one favor. Well, considering we're going to need the notoriety here, we're going to go ahead and join forces with the resistance, because the challenging faction is the Trade Alliance, and considering what has happened with Draven in the past on Velos, he's going to want to make sure that the Trade Alliance is kept in check here, especially if he ends up catching Zyra. So we're going to go ahead and figure out that in just a moment. Draven's skills as a seasoned nomad and his knowledge of the inner workings of various factions proves invaluable to the secret resistance movement at the Radiant Citadel. Utilizing his elite operative training, Draven becomes the Resistance's eyes and ears, gathering critical intelligence on the Trade Alliance's activities and identifying key targets for disruption. With unmatched stealth and infiltration skills, he infiltrates high-security installations and gathers sensitive information about the Alliance's plans, resources, and potential weaknesses. Under Draven's guidance, and with the unity of people within the Resistance, they begin to make significant headway in undermining the Trade Alliance's influences on Xylon. Their precise targeted strikes disrupt the Alliance's operations, leading to the confusion and mistrust amongst its ranks. As their actions ripple through the Trade Alliance's ranks, whispers of a shadowy adversary spread, sowing doubt and unease. Together, Draven and the Resistance demonstrates the power of a few dedicated individuals united in their cause, striking fear into the heart of a mighty faction that once seemed untouchable. And now that Draven has joined the Resistance for a short period and undermined the Trade Alliance's activities, we go ahead and gain 1 notoriety, and we will move on to the second activity here for the Radiant Citadel, which will be table number 3. Now, unfortunately, because of some technical issues, I already have this information already rolled out, and as we see here for events table number 3, we have rolled a 2. The environment here has become more dangerous than usual. The locals gesture at you to seek shelter immediately. Choose one. Help the locals battle the elements to gain 1 notoriety, or ignore the locals and find your own makeshift shelter to gain 1 motivation. We definitely need the motivation, and we will go ahead and see where we go to hunker down and what do we see when we emerge. Ignoring the locals' warnings, Draven seeks temporary refuge in a rugged cave as a sudden, ferocious storm unleashes its fury upon Xylon. The tempest is relentless, unleashing powerful winds and torrential rain that threatens to wash away everything in its path. Draven clings to the shelter's walls, feeling the earth tremble beneath his feet as thunder roars and lightning paints the sky in blinding flashes. As the storm finally subsides, leaving an eerie silence in its wake, Draven cautiously emerges from the cave. The landscape is transformed, trees are uprooted, debris is scattered everywhere, and the once serene surroundings now bear the marks of the tempest's wrath. The locals who sought safety are nowhere to be seen, and the environment feels more dangerous than ever. Yet amid the chaos and destruction, an unexpected sight awaits him. The clouds part, and an enchanting northern lights of Xylon cast their mesmerizing glow across the horizon. The vibrant colors dance in the darkened sky, weaving a captivating tapestry that seems almost surreal. Draven can't help but be captivated by the beauty of the auroras, even in the midst of danger and turmoil. As he stands in awe, the northern lights seem to whisper a message of resilience and hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is beauty to be found and strength to be drawn upon. It's a fleeting moment of tranquility amidst the chaos, and Draven realizes that he must seize this respite before the world around him plunges back into turmoil. With the northern lights guiding his path, he knows that he must find Zyra Exoskeen and put an end to the threat she possesses, both to Xylon and the galaxy at large. Now that we have seen what has happened with this sudden storm and these northern lights here, Draven will leave the Radiant Citadel to explore the wilds once again, looking for a lead. And again, unfortunately, due to technical difficulties here, we had the rolls already, but my voiceover wasn't recorded. So we will see here and go over the rolls as we see fit. So unfortunately, we rolled a 1, and there's no sign of your target, but something interrupts your hunt, and we rolled once on the exploration events table. Rolling 1 on that gave us a 1, or for table 1, and then for table 1 here, we also rolled a 1 again. And we were offered shelter for the night in the home of a harmless-looking local. Try to speak to them by the campfire. So the first thing we ended up having to do was roll for their species, and they ended up being another Talok. Seems to be a theme for Draven, at least on Xylon anyways. So then we went ahead and rolled on the dice here, the 1d6, and we got a 4. So that 4 will end up being that they warm to you as you sit together. You have a quiet night, and you may try to recruit them. What secret about your past do you share with them? And with all the technical difficulties out of the way, let's continue on with the rest of the story. Well, I almost missed a step here, and we actually have to try to speak with them first by the campfire. Then we roll a die. So we've already rolled a die. We got ourselves a 4, so we'll deal with that. And then we're not going to bother recruiting them. So first we got to speak. And because we have a 5 of 6 favor, that's going to give us a +3. And let's see what we end up getting here. We might actually not speak with them initially. And we don't. We don't get to speak with the Talok local, actually. We fail to speak with them, and we just move on to the recruitment phase. But I don't want to recruit them. I think it'll be better off for our Wraith to act alone here. We're going to avoid that, and we will move on to the secret that we revealed to them. As the night grows darker, Draven finds himself feeling strangely at ease in the company of the Talok local. Perhaps it's the warmth of the crackling fire, or the genuine hospitality of his host. The local's kind demeanor encourages Draven to share a secret he rarely reveals to anyone, the true reason behind his scar. In a hushed tone, Draven recounts the fateful day when he was betrayed by a once trusted mentor, the pain of the betrayal etched forever on his forearm in the form of the mysterious tattoo. He explains how the betrayal led him to seek vengeance against the criminal empire his mentor had built, and how the quest for retribution eventually led him to join the nomads and become a hunter of bounties. As Draven unveils this vulnerable side of himself, the Talok local listens intently, offering understanding nods and gestures of empathy. The moment becomes an unexpected bond between the two, a connection forged by shared experiences of betrayal and loss. Draven finds comfort in knowing that he is not alone in the struggles he faces, and the Talok local, in turn, is grateful for the trust bestowed upon them. As the night continues, the walls of mistrust and wariness begin to crumble, replaced by an unspoken camaraderie that transcends words. Draven's past, once hidden away, now rests in the heart of the Talok local, and in the moment of unlikely friendship, they find solace in each other's company. When morning arrives, Draven departs with newfound respect for the seemingly harmless Talok local, knowing that sometimes a warm heart and a listening ear can be the greatest comfort on a journey filled with danger and uncertainty. And having moved on the next morning to find another destination on Xylon, Draven leaves the friendly Talok local behind and carries on with their hunt for Zyra exoscheme. And we end up arriving in a small outpost or enclave run by the challenging faction. And we have to choose one. Search for anyone who might have seen the target to gain a favor, or speak with a local, then rest to gain motivation. So we'll do a search. So yes, we are back at the Twilight Market, and we are going to search for anyone who might know where the target is and gain 1 favor. So this will put us at 5 of 6? Well, I guess we have to search first and then go from there. And if we find anyone that knows where the target is, then we gain the favor, I believe. Okay, so for our search, we just go ahead and roll the 1d6 here for the search table and see what we come up with. And as usual, no one has seen your target, but you encounter a hostile, 1 star and 1 heart. How do you end up confronting or annoying someone here? Since this is a hostile, we can end up trying to use our notoriety here, and I think that'll probably be the best route, maybe, or we'll just go into combat. We haven't really had any combat yet, so let's just go to combat. So we are dealing with 4 and 3 for stars for us, and 3 and 2 hearts. They have 1 and 1 each, so this should, in theory, be quick. With a 5 and a 3, let's see who got what. We got the 3 with +4 initially, that's going to put us to a 7, and +1 for them, that's going to make it a 6. They lose 1 heart, and that will be round number 1. We are victorious on the first round of combat. Let's go ahead and head into round 2 of combat to see if we can neutralize this hostile. And with a 6 and a 4, Let's see what we get here. The 6 is for us, which puts us at 9. 1 for them on the 4 puts them to a 5. We easily neutralize the hostile. Now we need to see how we end up confronting or annoying someone here at the Twilight Market. Oh, and also before I forget, since we were victorious, we have to either spare them or kill them. And since we don't need the notoriety or the favor because we are completely maxed on everything, we're just going to go ahead and spare them. As Draven traverses through the bustling Twilight Market, he can't help but notice a flicker of recognition in the eyes of a suspicious-looking hostile. A pang of familiarity washes over him as, with a subtle nod of acknowledgement, Draven realizes that they have crossed paths before, but he can't quite recall where or when. Curiosity gets the better of him, and he approaches the hostile, hoping to jog his memory and perhaps gain some useful information about Zyra's whereabouts. As he draws closer, a hint of a smirk plays on the hostile's lips, and a silent challenge to Draven's inquiry. Intrigued yet cautious, Draven engages the hostile in conversation, subtly probing for any hint of their connection, but the hostile remains enigmatic, offering only cryptic replies and elusive glances. Frustrated by the lack of cooperation, Draven's determination begins to fray and becomes more assertive in his approach. As the tension escalates, the hostile's facade cracks, revealing a mix of annoyance and amusement. Draven's persistence seems to have struck a nerve, and the hostile retorts with veiled threats, clearly annoyed by Draven's dogged pursuit of answers. Sensing that he might be close to uncovering something significant, Draven pushes further, refusing to back down despite the hostile's attempts to intimidate him. The confrontation escalates into a gun battle, a flurry of shots and skillful dodges as they dance around each other in the crowded Twilight Market. In the end, Draven manages to outmaneuver the hostile, neutralizing the immediate threat while sparing their life. The tension between them remains palpable, the answers still shrouded in secrecy. Yet, Draven's determination only grows stronger as he inches closer to unraveling the mysteries surrounding Zyra Exoscheme. And with that encounter over at the Twilight Market, now is a good time for us to pause on Draven's hunt for Zyra Exoscheme and see if maybe we'll have better luck next week as we continue the hunt for them on the planet of Xylon here in this bioluminescent planet. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next week, I'll see you all next time, Bounty Hunters.